You know those days when everything just feels off? Like you're doing all the things, getting the kids fed, running errands, trying to keep the house together, but still feeling completely drained? That was me for a long time. I just thought it was the usual tiredness from juggling a busy life, but it turned out it was something else entirely. My hormones were out of balance and I didn't even realize it. The first warning sign was weight gain. I remember standing in front of my closet, holding up a pair of jeans I used to love, and they just didn't fit anymore. I hadn't changed my eating habits. I was still chasing after 3 wild kids every day, and yet the scale kept creeping up. My face looked puffier and my energy just felt stuck in this weird limbo. It wasn't mom weight or laziness. Turns out my thyroid hormones had slowed my metabolism without me realizing it. That sudden weight gain, it was my body's way of telling me to slow down. But I didn't listen soon enough. Next came fatigue. Not just regular tiredness, but bone-deep exhaustion. You know, the kind where you wake up feeling like you never slept? I'd pour a cup of coffee, try to get through the morning chaos, and by lunchtime I was already crashing. I blamed the kids, the late nights, the stress. But my body was running on empty because my hormones weren't converting food into energy like they should. Fatigue was a loud, persistent warning sign. One I wish I had listened to sooner. Then there was the irregular heartbeat. One evening, after putting the kids to bed, I was doing the dishes when suddenly my heart felt like it skipped a beat. Then it fluttered. Panic washed over me. Was it anxiety? A heart problem? Turns out hormone imbalances, especially with my thyroid and adrenaline, were causing my heart to act up. It was terrifying, but it was also a wake-up call. I started paying attention to my body's whispers instead of pushing them aside. Another big one was increased appetite. There were nights when I found myself sneaking to the fridge after everyone else was asleep. Not because I was hungry for comfort food, but because my body was legitimately starving. Hormones like insulin and cortisol were messing with my hunger signals, making me crave sugar and carbs like I was on some impossible roller coaster. I felt guilty, but it wasn't willpower. It was biology screaming for balance. Joint pain crept in next. One morning, I was playing on the floor with my youngest when my knees started aching. Later, my wrists would throb after picking up toys or holding the baby. I chalked it up to age or tired muscles, but when the pain became persistent, I learned that estrogen plays a huge role in joint health. The decline in hormones was literally making me ache, something no one warned me about in my 30s. Then came low libido. This one's tough to admit, but it's real. I loved my partner, but somewhere along the way, my desire just vanished. I blamed stress, the busy schedule, the chaos. But my hormones, especially estrogen and progesterone, were behind it. I felt disconnected in a way that wasn't just emotional, it was chemical. It took me a while to accept that this was a normal hormonal shift, not a failure on my part. After having my 3rd child, I noticed thinning hair. Postpartum hair loss is common, but mine didn't stop. Stress, poor diet, and hormonal imbalance were slowly stealing my hair volume. It was heartbreaking watching my thick hair thin out over time, but it was another sign my body was out of sync. And finally, the last straw: excessive sweating and night sweats. I'd wake up drenched, even when it was freezing cold. It felt like my body's thermostat had gone haywire. I learned this was connected to my thyroid and estrogen fluctuations hormones controlling more than just mood or energy. If any of this sounds familiar, you're not alone and you're not broken. Hormones affect everything: your mood, your body, your daily life. Understanding these signs was my first step toward feeling like myself again. If this helped you even a little, please subscribe and join me on this journey. Let's figure it out together. One day, one step at a time.